Without any further ado, let me quickly give you a glimpse about eBay. So, as I said, we are connecting millions of buyers across 190 plus countries through one platform, which is eBay. And you name a category, you name a product, and you will find it on eBay. We provide 360-degree logistical support. So we have logistics and warehousing solutions in most of the key markets that we are present in, and we offer some of the best, competitive rates to ship your products to any part of the world. And lastly, but not the least, numerous awards and recognitions for close to 25 years, but obviously it's still data for us. So can we move to the so let's get started, and to keep you guys slightly on your toes and just warm things up, we have a small quiz, a few questions just to tickle your brain a little bit. This is the first question. Almost 30% of this category is exported from India to the USA every year. 30% of this product category is exported from India to the US every year. Can you guess?
Home textile.
Any other answers? Yeah, that's correct. Jewelry is one of the largest categories that is exported from India. Moving on. So, this is an interesting one. This famous Indian cosmetic company with a French opera name is today an international brand. Can you guess the brand?
Aces.
Any other answers? Sorry? No.
Sephora.
Incorrect. Any other answer? Anybody should have yes. Not there's a hint as well. Makeup that's like your second skin was one of their brand slogans. And Googling is not allowed. Okay. And the answer is Lakme. Alright. Let's move on to the next question. Probably relevant for a few people out here. You're sitting in a European cafe, you order for some coffee. You find out it is from India. Which blend it is most likely to be? You order for some coffee sitting in a European cafe, you find out it is from India. Which blend it is most likely? Sorry? No. You guys seem to be thinking something. Sorry? Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you answered the answer, but I thought it was a brilliant one. Alright, so last couple of questions before we move ahead to okay, well, yeah, it's coffee o'clock, but we have tea too. Don't go with the length of the question. The question will seem to be really tough, but the answer is very simple. So I'll read out. Bunge Limited, formerly Bunge International, is a Bermudan food processing corporation with its headquarters in New York, White Plains, New York. As well as being a leading global soybean exporter, it is also involved in food processing, grain trading, and fertilizer. Which brand, one of the longest living in India, is currently owned by Bunge India Private Limited? Bermudan Food Processing Corporation, into soybean exports, and currently owns one of the longest living brands in India. That's Bunge India Private Limited. The answer is very simple. I mean, when I show you the answer, you'll be like, that's the reaction you're going probably.
Which is I think it's time for the answer.
Okay, so the answer to this question is Dalda. Sorry? It's a forgotten brand, but yeah, a household brand. And the last question, so it's slightly different. I think, I don't know how many of you are follow cricket. It's IPL season, so probably you thought we'll have a slightly different question here as well. It's an easy one. So, a few contemporaries of Sir Don Bradman gathered somewhere in Sydney on 4th of August 2008 to celebrate his birth centenary. But 23 days before his actual birth centenary date, that is 27th of August 2008. Okay, so they gathered to honor Sir Don Bradman, but 23 days before his actual birthday. Why was that particular date chosen and not his actual birthday? No one? No, because Sir Don Bradman had retired long back, so I think he asked it.
Yeah, but you are close when you talk about last match.
Yeah, you're close. Okay, what is Sir Don Bradman famous for? Like, what's one record which cannot be broken ever? Sorry?
27 centuries.
No.
Well, not strike rate, but high something.
So, well, the hint is he got out on a duck on his last inning, right? And that is what is the reason why 4th August 2008 is important.
Okay, so the answer is 99.94 years. And 99.94 is Don Bradman's average, test match average. He needed 4 runs in his last inning to get to 100 average, but he got out on 0. And 99.94 is the number which. So, thank you. That was a short quiz. I'll now pass on to Vinod for the next segment.
I hope you guys had fun in answering a few of those questions. We'll move on to what eBay can actually do for brands from India. Right? So eBay, of course, is a 25-year-old marketplace, and it has been a pioneer in e-commerce. And through India, we are enabling cross-border commerce, right? Cross-border commerce with access to over 190 markets, all through basically a single account on eBay. And how does that work, and how do we help you kind of scale your brand, grow your brand, and take you basically on a global stage? So this is basically what I would talk about as the seller journey, or the global markets program, which the brands can take and follow this journey and kind of set up the business on eBay. So we start off with onboarding. Now, in terms of onboarding, I think the most important part comes in terms of compliance, taxation, also in terms of regulatory burdens which are there in various countries. So based on your product, based on whatever category you are operating on, each and every country will have different compliance requirements. So we have a team which can help you in guiding you in terms of getting the right compliances done for the countries that you wish to sell in, what products work in. So once you have all the licenses in place, if your category is such, which is a very commodity kind of category, something like, let's say, jewelry, licensing is very easy. All you need is a IEC, which is import-export. So that is the only thing you need. But let's say if you are a food brand, When you have a food brand, then you will require much more licenses to sell across the various Western markets. That is where we help you in onboarding. Once you are done with onboarding, then we come to your market insights and planning. So understanding which product sells where, how do you kind of place your product in which markets? Let's say it's a pressure cooker. So let's say you are wanting to sell a pressure cooker in Germany or UK. What is the market size? How do you kind of plan for your go-to-market strategy? What is the kind of volumes you can expect? So these are the kinds of things we help you in while you are actually starting off your journey on eBay. Once you are all set up, have pretty much listed most of your products, then comes your merchandising support, because this is something which we are, especially for D2C brands, is something which we are enabling access to the different merchandising options on the eBay platform. Be it your cost per sale model, be it your cost per click model. We also have offsite marketing, which we are launching this year. So you have access to all the marketing tools across all eBay marketplaces, be it US, UK, Germany, Australia. These being the biggest markets that we operate in. So this is where you can actually take your brand and actually scale it to where you wanted to actually make it viable. Without merchandising, honestly, the growth is always slow, which we are pretty much aware of. So this is where we can enable much better exposure and much better traffic for your onto the marketplace. Then comes different tools and programs, API integration. But here I would kind of want to talk more about seller programs, where we run special programs for seasonal sales, like be it a Black Friday sale or any kind of Valentine Day events. So in such events, we run special programs for sellers where they can kind of display their products for that kind of event with and gain higher visibility and higher traction. This also, because you're selling on the global market, right? It insulates you from the seasonality of your product. Because let's say here, if you are during Diwali is your most sale, you could have higher sales in March and April, and let's say in Australia, because that is where some seasonal events are running there. So that is how we help in terms of seller programs. Then comes the most important part when you talk about cross-border commerce is shipping, because the cost of shipping is much higher when you talk about international e-commerce compared to your local ones. So we have integrated solutions which enable you to ship your product straight from India to your final customer, or you follow what we call as the forward deployment model, or which is more famous by the FBA model, where you stock your inventory in the host country, and then eBay helps you fulfill those orders from, let's say, a UK market. You stock your inventory in UK, and a local service provider will come, finish your last mile delivery from there. So this is the main things which we talk about as fulfillment or shipping. Also, in terms of first mile, so there are certain products which cannot really be air shipped. Which if you have something like heavy weight or high volumetric weight products. So which we have partners who can do sea shipment as well, where you can take your product in bulk, ship it to, let's say, US, UK markets, and from there we have warehousing partners there who help us enable the last mile shipping. So in terms of every product or every category has a customized shipping solution, and which is where we help our brands and partners give them access to all of these shipping solutions to enable the end-to-end fulfillment. Last is, of course, seller support. We have a dedicated account management team within India who will help each and every partner of ours scale. We have any kind of customer queries or any kind of queries. We have a dedicated 24/7 customer support as well for sellers. So that is something which we provide for. Especially for cross-border commerce, we have a specific team within India working for this. So these are how we kind of try and enable cross-border e-commerce for brands and partners from India. So basically I'll just end with a thought: think big, sell global, which is the theme of what we've been trying to bring there. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free. I can come down to each one of you and maybe answer your questions. Thanks a lot.
Fulfillment different places. Yes. What happens when it goes up to the end market?
So in terms of returns, right? Firstly, because of eBay, it is all prepaid orders. It's we do not have a cash on delivery kind of offer. Most of the e-commerce, which we talk about global commerce orders, cash on delivery is not really very prevalent, right? So the returns itself are low. And if in case there are any returns, it is honestly not financially viable to bring that product back to India, right? So we have warehousing partners there where the product comes back to that warehouse there, and after that it can either be liquidated, or if it is in a reasonable enough condition, then it can be resold. So yeah, bringing it back, if you want to, you can, but it will cost you more than the product, because our import laws says that even for returns you pay 40%, 50% import duty. So it is not really viable to bring the product back to India. Yeah, government rules does not allow you to, like, it is not financially viable basically. So which is why our solution basically says that we bring it to a warehouse there, either resell it, or if the product is kind of not it's in a damaged condition, we liquidate it.
But the reselling is taken care of eBay.
So there are different solutions. So the warehousing partners, we have certain warehousing partners who will do this quality check and suggest whether it can be resold. So on eBay, you can sell also as a open box or as a refurbished product, right? So in that case, we do suggest some players to do sell it as an open box or as a refurbished product. Yeah, it will be discounted, because if it is an open box, not a lot of customers will want to buy it. But in terms of the eBay ecosystem, we have a very healthy ecosystem for such kind of refurbished or open box products as well. So those products also get resold. It's not like just because it's not new, it will not get sold. It does get sold.
So do you still follow the US system of selling auction?
Yes, so so on eBay we do have both auction as well as fixed price listings, right? So auctions do form a significant part of the overall business, but the whole trend is moving to fixed price right now.
Because we wouldn't like to sell on that.
Yeah, so auctions, so generally where auctions work is maybe in kind of a B2B kind of sale. So you have a customer there who wants to buy in bulk. That is where an auction listing actually helps, where you can negotiate and come up with a final price, and that is where the sale happens. So auction listings is something which people in general are moving away from. So customer himself does not want a lot of auctions. Auctions work more in what we call a C2C space, consumer to consumer space. In a business to consumer kind of space, auctions are not something which we see. No, we don't have any operations on it.
So it will be only global.
Yes, so from here, with one account, you can set up stores across the globe. So it's not like, let's say you want to sell in US and UK, you don't need to even create separate accounts. To the same accounts, just with your current licensing documents, you can sell across the various countries.
So any Indian customer comes up and buy from us.
So Indian customer buying, that is a very interesting question, because up to a year or two back, we were able to sell to Indian customers. But now with the Indian laws changing, with CO information becoming mandatory, and most of the seller ecosystem within India does not have CO information on their listing, so we had to stop selling to Indian customers. Country of origin, sorry. Country of origin is mandatory now with in India e-commerce. So, which is why we had to stop selling it within India.
So this will be B2C.
Yes, purely B2C. We have a small B2B segment as well, but majorly, if I say 95% B2C segment.
We do have a wholesale category for wholesale lots, and you can have like lots of fabrics, apparel items. You can list in bulk as well and sell. So
but does apparel work for eBay? Because eBay is mostly known for electronics. That's what I knew about. So does Indian ethnic wear work?
So in fact, Indian ethnic wear is kind of a focus category for us for the next 2 to 3 years, because about correct me if I'm wrong, I think 95% of ethnic wear sold on eBay is through Indian exports, and it is one of the fastest growing categories for cross-border commerce. So, because people, of course, the Indian customer based abroad wants them, of course, there, but the US customer or the UK customer are also embracing the Indian ethnic wear for certain functions. So, it is pretty much one of the fastest growing categories for cross-border commerce.
Yeah, and we also see very good traction during some of the festive seasons, like wedding season, or now Eid is around the corner in May, so our sales are also kind of reflecting that, and our teams are also planning around that. So, yeah.
What kind of a percentage of commission service charges?
So our typical commissions range from between 9 to 12%, varying on the category to category. So, of course, there are certain other charges for selling internationally. So we have partnered with Payoneer as our payments partner. So there are certain fees with regards to Payoneer as well.
Currency will be $1.
Yes, it's up to you. So if you want to take remittance in INR, you can take remittance in INR as well.
So there will be some transaction conversion charges.
Payment to your service charges?
No, that is the Payoneer. The payment gateway charges, those will be the additional charges. With regards to eBay, it's only the commission which I talked about, 9 to 12%.
So that will be in dollars?
That will be in dollars, yes.
How about the logistics? Is it additional?
So logistics is something that we. So logistics is a completely seller or partner driven. We do not have our own logistics as per se, but we have partnerships with various players, be it FedEx, DHL, or USPS or UPS in the US. So logistics, generally how Indian sellers sell is they build the logistics cost in the price of the product as well and sell it as free shipping. So let's say your product is $10 plus $2 shipping, you sell it at $12.
So you don't have a tie-up with such to do a consumption rate?
So the rates are all concessional. In fact, the reason, because we are able to drive bulk shipments, we have pretty much the best rates we can get from, let's say, a FedEx or a DHL for international shipments. So the rates which you get through our platform will be much lesser. But in terms of shipping, we do not charge the customer or charge the seller any shipping cost. It's completely, we connect you with the third-party logistics player and you pay the third-party logistics. Typically, if you start today, you should be start selling on eBay within 10 to 15 days.
How about the listings? Isn't it an easier process? Because when we are listing, for example, on Amazon, they have a certain regulation for listings. So how about eBay?
So in terms of eBay, the requirements to list on eBay are actually much lesser. Because on eBay, so if you're listing, when you're listing on Amazon, you need to be an authorized seller of a brand, or you have to register your brand. On eBay, you don't have to do that currently. So listing process actually is much easier, especially if you have any kind of tech solution with you. The integration of listings becomes much easier. Manual listings are also possible if you have the number of SKUs are, let's say 50 or 100, it's possible to do manual listings. Otherwise, if we have a lot of tools which enable bulk listings as well. So listing process, it's all about how much time can we, how fast can we do it. System does not restrict the listings in any which ways. And to list a product, of course, on eBay, people can list a product even with 3 attributes, which is basically brand, your product name, and that's all. But that is not how sales will actually come. But if you have all the data ready, you can just push it through API or through a bulk uploader. The listings will go live within an hour.
And what about the trademark rights? Suppose which is a registered brand.
So if you are a brand which is trademarked in India, and if you want protection in US, then you will have to take the registration there. So if once that is there, so we have what is called a VERO program, which is verified restrictions. So if you are a trademark registered brand, nobody else can actually sell your products. If once you register yourself as a trademark.
Because initially if we are selling, we don't know how much of numbers we are going to do.
Correct.
Both over a period of time, yeah, we could understand.
Yes, so that is what. So typically, that is what Indian brands do. They will start off selling. Once they come to a scale, then they will register or trademark their brand in the country which they are actually selling it.
There should not be any confusion that our brand is going there, and then you realize there's another brand something which is registered across, and then you have issues.
Yes, so if your name of the brand that you are using is similar to, let's say, a Nike or a Puma, I'm just giving an example, but yeah, so it's something which is already trademarked. Yes, that can be a challenge, and that is something which will be on a case-to-case basis. Honestly, I cannot say the same.
You guys will have to protect us then, because you're saying.
Yeah, if you once you register your brand in US, yes, we can protect it.
So adding further on this brand thing, like you said, something like Amazon requires a registered brand, whereas eBay welcomes. And I actually come from back in the days when eBay was known for, stamp collectors, auctions, selling trinkets. It still kind of, to me, has, excuse me if I have a biased opinion on this, but it feels like a thrift store kind of feeling it gives me. Right? Like when I say कि ये shirt eBay से लिया है, it doesn't give me a feel of, I'm shopping from a brand. It rather feels like I shop from some guy on the shop on the street who has listed on eBay. So suppose if I come from a global brand that I want to scale up, is eBay doing something on that front to make sure the brands get treated differently compared to a roadside seller?
Sure. So I'll answer that in two different phases. First is in terms of brands. We are running in certain categories, which are our focus categories, something called as authentication guarantee programs, where we say that we started it off with watches, leather bags, and sneakers. We are expanding into jewelry and a few other categories as well. So the whole idea is eBay authenticates that product before shipping it out to the end customer. So we have authentication warehouses in various countries. So before it goes to the final customer, it goes to that warehouse where they do the verification, and only then it is shipped to the final customer. So that is one part where we are protecting brands. One. Second, also we are launching something called as a brand manager, where which I was talking about, where once you are a trademark registered brand on eBay, nobody else can sell your product unless and until you give that seller rights to sell your product. So this is the other way where we are doing things to kind of protect and safeguard the brand identity and trademark for brands across the globe. So these are two major activities. Authentication program might not be relevant to a lot of Indian sellers because it is more in terms of high ASP sneakers or watches. But yes, even we have a few Indian sellers doing watches through the authentication program. Jewelry will soon start. So that is where we kind of look at in terms of protecting brands. And in coming to your other part is in terms of, like I said, eBay runs in two segments. One is your B2C and other is C2C. Our C2C segment still what we talk about, a stamp collector or playing cards, something like that is still a focus for eBay. But the B2C system is something that is growing at a much faster rate than the C2C system because customers are getting more aware and customers want buying directly from the brand rather than buying from somebody. So that is where eBay is enabling brands and other business sellers also to grow on the marketplace.
Are there any brands from India that are doing global sales right now?
Yeah, there are lots of Indian brands going global. So typically from the health and beauty Ayurveda kind of space, be it Mama Earth or be it all of these kind of players, these are going global. They are selling through our platforms. There are distributors who have specific rights for Indian brand, let's say a Prestige, right? Prestige pressure cooker. They have given the specific rights to certain distributors to sell in the US market. So that distributor then sells it on the US market. So that is how, and they work. It works similarly, be it Amazon, be it an eBay, be it Etsy. The brand authorization works pretty much similar across all three marketplaces. Thanks everyone. I think we are done with the event, and I think there's going to be some the next event to follow here. Any other questions we can connect separately, you can come down to our booth. We are happy to answer your questions there. Thanks a lot.